Welcome to the Real View podcast, where Ohio Realtors connect you to innovators and influencers, keeping you with the real view of real estate. Whether you're a broker, agent, first-time homebuyer, industry leader, or just happen to stumble upon our podcast today, you can expect to hear tips, tools, tricks, interesting information, and so much more from the experts in Ohio's real estate game. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Real View podcast. I am your host, Allison Wiley. Joining us today, our special guest is no stranger to Ohio Realtors. You may remember her if you attended Broker Summit in the fall. Amy Stockberger, she is the founder of Amy Stockberger Real Estate, which she runs with her husband. Her 20-agent team has held over 10% market share in the number one volume rank in South Dakota since 2017 and is ranked number 33 nationally. She's the creator of Lifetime Home Support, a system that turns every client into 5 more through loyalty, vendor partnerships, and service-based systems. She is a nationally recognized speaker known for building scalable, legacy-driven, client-for-life real estate businesses. And she is here with us to tell us a little bit more about how we can work with the media and use this to leverage our brand and our business. Amy, welcome onto the show. We're so happy to have you.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Yes, and we were just chatting before we started recording. Amy joined us at Broker Summit, gave a really great presentation, so you all may be remembering her from that. And a good friend to Ohio Realtors, and we appreciate you joining us again to share some more of all of your knowledge with us.
Yes, I'm excited. Let's jump into it, and I'm happy to serve and help. I am very passionate about helping real estate agents, teams, brokers build big, juicy legacies by elevating the client experience, which allows them to build a business they love.
No, I love it. So yeah, like you said, let's dive in. I think we should start with you. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the real estate industry, what's led you to where you are today, how you got involved in speaking. Tell us a little bit about your background and career history.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry. It'll be 26 years next year, which seems insane to me. But I got into it right out of college. My dad had a Coldwell Banker at the time and had a pretty strict non-nepotism rule. So he gave me an office in the back and basically said sink or swim, and did it for all the right reasons, of course. And I fell in love with the industry, and I've worn pretty much all the hats throughout my career. Started on the back end, got licensed within 2 years, was a buyer's agent for a hot second, was a single agent for even hotter second, and decided, no, I'm just going to go start my own team. So I got my sister licensed. We had a part-time assistant, and we just started rocking and rolling. And that was before Google wasn't a thing. So the business was very different.
Yeah.
The millionaire real estate agent and me listening to tapes and doing 15 to 20 open houses. And I say I have a PhD in failing forward, and I did everything wrong and kept grinding and fell just so deeply in love with what we do for humans. Buying and selling a house is such a big deal, and we get to help them in such beautiful times in their lives and such really sad times in their lives. And it's just such an important part of their wealth building. And my husband came over and joined me in 2009, and we really started growing, became more of a real business then, not just a hobby I was really good at. But it became a real business, and we grew a bigger team. We got to about 2014, and we're doing good. We were killing the before and during part of the transaction. I'm a systems person. That's one of my superpowers. And it just blew my mind. We found this big hole in our business. Mm-hmm. It was, we were doing so good on the before and during, but we weren't getting that repeat and referral business that we should have been getting based upon how happy everybody was, right? And NAR tells us year after year that your sphere is your biggest lead source. And I knew that keeping a client for life was a lot cheaper than getting new clients. So at that time, I was foolishly running a billboard ad campaign for like $30,000 a year. And the only campaign goal that had was to remind the people who knew, like, and trusted me to use me again. Mm-hmm. And guess what? It didn't work. It wasn't authentically serving them. It was just a brand awareness piece. And it was a limited belief on my part. And so I figured I went out and I found the hole in my business. And then I later, like as I was digging in, and I'm like, oh my, there's a big hole in our industry. There wasn't a really all-inclusive model, really. I thought I wanted a business model that took care of clients before, during, and forever, and elevated that client experience, not just beyond the closing table, but also throughout their whole human journey, because it is just such a big part of it. And I went down, the rabbit hole looking at, okay, what is my point of difference? And how was I different than any other real estate agent in my market? And what I found was really icky. It was pretty embarrassing. My point of difference was that we were the local best at connecting buyers and sellers. And guess what? We could help you sell your house for most amount of money, shortest amount of time, least amount of hassle. Oh, hey, guess what else? We could help you find a house that matched your budget and your parameters. All the things that are in our basic job description. It was like basically Webster's dictionary of what my job was to be doing. It'd be like hiring an attorney who said, I passed the bar, hire me, or hiring a surgeon who's like, I have steady hands. I mean, these were all just like terrible things. And me and everybody in my market were all saying the same thing. We were like everywhere USA real estate agent. And it was a bummer. I was so disappointed. So I went in and decided, what, I couldn't find something that was all inclusive. And so we made one. We made a lifetime home support model is what we call it. And it has a system and strategy for every step of the home buying and selling process before, during, and forever. Our clients can save up to $20,000 in the first year, and the support and savings continue for life. And that program made us the highest producing team within our market within the first year and a half, almost by double. We're the highest producing team still. We rank number 33 in the nation. I have a team. We're a brokerage. We run as a teamerage. I have about 22 or 23 some agents. We run 10% of our market share about in our market. And we do it by taking care of our clients at every human stage as well as every homeowner stage.
I love that. I love that approach, kind of putting the human being first. And, that I think is so much of the job of realtor. Like you mentioned, yes, we negotiate, and yes, we, can go over different property taxes and codes and all of this stuff with you, but really being that person that's going to be there for you on a human being level, on a relationship level, on a one-to-one understanding, and guiding through those emotions that happen with the purchase of a house. I think that is such a smart approach to this. And I love that you've, really been able to find success with that and are leading from that and have built an amazing business model off of it. So hats off to you for leading with the heart and leading with the person first. And I think that shows off in your successes and what you've been able to bring to the industry.
Well, thank you. I talk about that back in 2014 when I found the hole in my business. I was searching. I'm like, fix it. And it led me to the book, The Go-Giver, which led me to the book, Tribes, which, Raving Fans, all those things. But the core, the foundation of The Go-Giver is that when you authentically give before your wants, needs, and desires, sales naturally follow. And that's what it is. And so what we built out was a lifetime home support model. So again, every system and strategy. So for the very first homeowner, we have a lease buyout program. To the very last seller, we have a golden age guided move program that's going into their senior care, selling that last house, to really everything in between, guaranteed sale, instant offer, love it or leave it program. But our signature unique value propositions are our VIP club and our vendor program. And our VIP club consists of when a client buys or sells one time, they get access to our moving trucks for free for life. But we monetize those. We advertise our vendors on them. So we get to help them gain more clients, which is what they want. And then we turned a cost center into a profit center. We have every party equipment that they'll ever need: cotton candy, snow cone, popcorn machine, all branded to us, margarita machines, bouncy houses, every tool they're going to need for home ownership, ladders, wheelbarrows, paint sprayers, carpet cleaners, again, all branded to us that they can come check out for free. So these clients are coming back to us asking for things. So the law of reciprocity kicks in, and giving repeat and referral business. About 90% of our business comes from repeat and referral, which is huge. And it allows my agents, allows us to stay sticky, not to our clients, but also to my agents, because it allows them to build a career that's relationship based, which is more fun. It is a lot more fun than building. And you can sell a relationship based service centric business for about 50 to 100% more than one that is not. And so it allows us to help them grow those big, juicy legacies. And so we package it all up, and now we help agents and brokers and teams across the nation do the same thing so they can elevate their business in a way that is service centric. I call it serve, sell. And as well as make it easier for their agents to do the same thing.
I love it. So smart. Such a great approach. And absolutely something every agent should take into consideration. Those relationships are key. And that's something, that is evergreen. I think it's always going to be important, always going to be everlasting. And yeah, always should be forefront for our members and agents' minds. I want to switch gears a little bit into the world of realtor media. I loved when you were sharing a little bit about your approach to this and how you manage the media. And I'm like, you know what? We got to talk about this because I don't know that we ever have before. And you have some really great advice and ways for us to be working with the media, for us to have our presence out there and taking advantage of these opportunities that are really going to help grow our business. And you have a really cool story of your $5 million listing and what happened when what happened when someone thought that was yours. Tell us that story and what you learned from that.
Yeah. So OPAs is what I call it. It's other people's audiences and authentically serving. And we teach our agents and agents nationwide to do the same thing. But one of the courses I have is how to grow your PR and how doing that locally makes you the expert in every room before you walk into the room. And so this particular story was this fabulous reporter who started, with this and, worked her way up. And I was always, and we've always done this, is we're always reaching out to these media sources, giving them tidbits of what's happening in our industry because they're always looking for good stories, helping them on what they can do to provide value to their audience. And I did that from a very early time in my career to different media's influencers. They weren't called influencers back then, just so you know, but people in there making sure that I was authentically helping them, which again turned around and gets us, good PR press. But we're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I should say that too. So Sioux Falls, South Dakota it's a little bit small. We're a small little nugget, and average price point, is right around the 375-ish. But a few years ago, the first $5 million home was listed on MLS. And it was a big deal. So this reporter who now is runs our highest business journal in our market, so online media one, contacted me, not the listing agent, and just wanted my take on it. Wanted me to just talk about what that meant for Sioux Falls to have a $5 million listing. Well, again, not my listing. Gave her my information. We talked. We shared just what my thoughts were. It published. I don't know how many calls I got to go look at that $5 million listing. My listing, not my listing at all, because it was me and the listing agent who were both in there. But I was quoted almost more than the listing agent was, and it was just amazing PR for me to be able to be a part of that. And so, I guess the reason I feel it's so important for agents to do this is that if they're providing value in all these different ways to help somebody else get their goals. Again, that sales, that OPA, those audiences of other people's are such a huge lift. And again, allows agents to be then seen as the expert before they even walk into that listing appointment with that complete stranger, because they've seen their name, they've seen what they're doing. They are the local knowledge broker who is being published, and who's there again, getting in front of as many people as possible. Like, and I think I've said this already, sorry if I repeat it, but NAR says your sphere is your biggest lead source. So that's the entire, another big part of our business model is we're growing out that sphere. Every one client we have turns into 5 more within the next 2.5 to 3 years because of that repeat and referral business. Well, same with vendors. Same with everybody. We do the same thing with our vendor program. So everybody we meet, is our business is built on strategic relationships and how we can help them, and how that does have a ripple effect back on us being then positioned as the broker of choice when they are someone they know has a life change.
It's so true. Getting your name out there in those positive ways and building those relationships too with the media so that you are being seen anytime there's a breaking story or something's coming out or that question, that's what I think is so cool about this industry, because everybody wants to know, how's the housing market doing? That's such a common, and if you are able to be the source on that and the voice of that, how cool is that going to be? If you think about it from the other side of things, if you are a potential client, you're like, oh my gosh, my realtor is the one who's quoted in all of these different sources. He or she is good. You know what I mean? I think that's such a cool way to look and think about it, is through that lens of, what is that telling your clients that you are going to be seen as the expert in what you're doing? It's so cool.
And you said it right here, but we're really the only service industry I feel that people think is sexy in a way that they always do, because we're essential. They don't likely go to their trust, wealth advisors and tell me about what's going on in wealth.
What's going on in my trust world? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm dying to know. It's totally party talk. It's not but everybody's like, what's going on with the housing? What's up with this 50-year mortgage? Like those are the things that you need to know about, and have the knowledge, and that we feed into our team too, that like, and agents listening, like, know your numbers. That's not a thing. Like, you need to know your numbers. You need to know your monthly stats. You need to know what all these things are. We actually put a golf simulator in our office, and the code to get into it changes based upon monthly stats. So our agents have to know the code to get into into this,
That's
in
so
there to use it.
smart.
And like little things, what's the list of sales price for 57108, for, this last month. And so just
Yeah.
different ways to keep them like knowing that people want to know. You have to be the one who has the answers.
Yes, you do. And when you're able to showcase that expertise and pitch that to the media and letting them know, like, hey, I know what I'm talking about, that, will go such a long way in building those relationships. What are some other ways? If we're like a basic level realtor who's looking to start getting our name out there, especially work with the press and working with influencers, I think you mentioned earlier, where do we start? How are you able to kind of find those people that we should be talking to and really start building those relationships?
Well, start with the basics. Start with the list. Who are the big media outlets within your market? So that's the first thing. Just get the list, get who the contacts are, have the emails, have it in a list you can easily go to when you have a press release. Go into ChatGPT and have them put together a template for a press release. Everything you do, every unique value proposition, anything that comes in, you're setting it. But same with any big industry news comes. Again, that 50-year mortgage, you better bet that I was writing a blog on that the minute that came out. And that here's the good and the bad of it. This is what you need to know, and making sure that our agents were equipped with the knowledge of it, because they're going to be out in the wild and be asked that information as well.
Yeah.
And so, but creating the list is the first thing, and then start reaching out and just saying, hey, what is it that you could use help with from my industry? Is there a way of something I have access to very easily could help you make your job easier? Mm-hmm. So, to take it back to like our vendors, let's just think about our vendor program. We're super connectors, right? Real estate agents, we connect buyers and sellers, but then we connect our clients, if we do our jobs right, to everything else they need. They come to us looking for referrals for electrician, HVAC, referrals for dentists, referrals for painters. And so we created a vendor network of the best local companies who give our clients legendary care, preferential treatment, and sometimes preferential pricing. They all do pay us to be a part of the program, though. So we get paid $3,500 minimum a year for them to be a part of our program. We have over 110 vendors. So before before we even serve a client, we're profitable. But we use that really as a lead generation, because we're coming in and saying, how can we help you grow your business, get more sales for you? And in turn, how can we get in front of your employees? Because to be a part of the program, they have to allow us access to their employees, or we get to come and talk about how not only are we the local best at connecting buyers and sellers, but how we do it so very differently with our lifetime home support model, and offering that value back to their employees. Again, giving us walking, talking billboards. And that's what this PR strategy is too. You want to create walking, talking billboards. You want to have as many people as possible talking about your brand in front of as many other people as possible, as often as possible, in the best way as possible. That's how you create walking, talking billboards. Because also, humans trust referrals from friends and family 92% more than any marketing or any advertising campaign. Yeah. And so that should be where you're leaning into. And I think we can all very vaguely, or not vaguely, very clearly remember a lawsuit we were just in, right? Pretty big lawsuit. Well, the world has said that they're done with our industry being transactional. They want transformational. They want to elevate that client experience. And doing those things like that, again, gets those walking, talking billboards.
Yep. Yeah, it does. It's such a smart way to get your name out there, get that word out there. And especially it's not, even directly anything that's coming from you, this is all through other people's audience, as you mentioned, this is all taking advantage of the work that's already out there, the opportunity that's already out there. That's just taking advantage of something that already exists and is doing it in a way that's optimizing you, your brand, your business, and help growing that and building that up, really lifting it to the forefront of people's minds. And I think that's really awesome. When we think about time, and you kind of broke it down into how we can think about like how much time we're spending on this, on a weekly basis, on a yearly basis, what's kind of your strategy behind allocating time to this? What should we be doing on a regular basis to make sure that this is getting the attention it deserves?
Well, if you're gonna lean into doing a PR strategy, I think you should have a cadence that's set up like once a week, that you're at least leaning into it. Again, if it doesn't live on your calendar, it doesn't exist. So if you don't have it time blocked, it's not going to happen. But it can be as easy too as just getting on any social and DMing these people and how you can help them, staying in front of them, helping them engage in their audience, being the one who's being seen. Those are, another really big way to help them get their goals met. And the more you're helping other people, the more you're able to continue you'll get that law of reciprocity back. And when's the last time you helped somebody and you felt crappy?
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. And we have pretty hard jobs. So it's pretty fun to do something that makes you feel good, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, another example. Well, I guess maybe back to this, like talking about how to stay in front of it. Here's one thing that every agent should be doing, like today and not tomorrow. And we're 6 weeks out from the end of the year. But because of everything, the way tech and AI are moving so fast, they need to be looking at their client client journey and seeing, where can I add in higher levels of service, and how can that service affect multiple people? And that's when we're looking at everything in our business and our client journey, or from our touch point matrix, is where can we be of more value, and how can we add in more service levels to make the experience beyond the closing table and during the closing table a better experience for not only our clients but also our agents and our community. And that's how we built out our whole marketing engine, is what we call it, our lifetime home support engine, that just sits at all my ideal client profiles feed each other, because they're all serving each other. My buyers and sellers, my agents, and my vendors, they all feed each other to keep continuing growing and just building this big engine of service.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's such a smart way to look at it, and so valuable on all levels of things. Really, everyone wins from this model, and that's what I think is really cool. You're bringing along your business, you're bringing along other businesses in your area, you're bringing along your clients' hopes and dreams. I mean, there really isn't a downside to this, and it sounds like you've really perfected it in a way that's going to be easily implemented for anyone who's looking, to make this a part of their business model. I think it's so smart. It's such a great way to take advantage of, the opportunities that are out there to make everyone happy, make those connections. And like you mentioned, that's what we do as realtors. We build those relationships, we make those connections. And if people are coming to us as that expert, I mean, that's what we could all hope and dream for. And I think that's amazing.
Right. And that's the touch point, right?
Yeah.
Our forever, where the past client is a dirty word in our office and in our ecosystem, is just forever, the forever client. And, our forever clients, we have a touch point of about 90 to 100 touch points a year, but they're all coming from a service-centric, non-commission breath way, where we're adding so much value that it isn't that we're asking them to do these things. Like, who do you know who wants to buy or sell a house? That's like outlaw. We don't say that. And real estate agents take that sentence out of your vernacular. Like, the question you need to be asking is, who do you know that has a life change coming up? Because anybody with a life change typically has a housing need that's lagging right behind. And then we as humans, when we hear that question anyway, we think, oh, who do I know who's getting married, getting divorced, who's having a baby go off, who's, retiring, those things. Or those are a better way for us humans to think about it and then connect those dots for us. And also, most people don't understand how we grow our businesses. So that's the thing that agents often miss, is that easy point there. Like, who do you know that has a life change coming up? Yeah. I would love to offer up, we call it our lifetime home support, services. So that's a key, and just growing out your database. I can actually give your audience, if they want to go out and follow me at Instagram, on Instagram at Amy Stockberger. If they DM me database, I'll send them over my data bank developer that'll help them. And like right now is the time to do that. Our agents, we ask that they do it every 90 days. It's just to make your biggest lead source as big as possible. It's just the basic thing. Like, go in and make that as big, and then serve them. How can you help them in their home ownership and their human journey?
Yep. I love that. No, that would be amazing. I was going to ask how our listeners can get in touch with you and what's next for Amy in the future. We're heading into a new year, as we mentioned, very quickly. It's come up and coming. How can we get in touch with you, and what can we expect from you as we head into the new year? Hopefully more time with Ohio, I hope.
Yeah. We had a blast there. Beautiful, 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 and really, really great humans. So thank you for having me. So you can get me at Amy Stockberger on Instagram. You can look at our solutions at lifetimehomesupport.com. You can check out just at Amy Stockberger Real Estate, what we're doing in our actual brokerage here. For moving forward, we're helping agents right now build out their vendor networks with Pro Insight. And so we have a system to help agents come into it. It's AI powered tech. And we help them build out a 25 to 50 person network. So think of like plumbers, electricians, all those, and really a done for you matter to help them refer each other so that they can build that referral business. So we're really going big on that. And at Amy Stockberger Real Estate, our plans are really fun for our vendor program and our corporate partnerships and our agents. Man, we have just an amazing team. Our team is lights out. So we have a lot of fun things that we're cooking up for 26. I can't wait to roll out.
I love that. No, so exciting. And before we wrap up, I will leave it with any last bits of advice to our realtors for up and coming for this new year. Focus on our clients, put that relationship first, know who you have, build those relationships with our vendors, keep them as lifetime, forever clients. I love that term. It's so smart and so fun. Any last bits of advice for our agents as we head into the new year on ways that we can be our best selves and really work our business as we head into 2026?
Yeah, so we just did our business planning for our agents. Our son, who's 22, is our agent success. And poor kid, he went to his first closing when he was 2 weeks old. He's done more open houses than most real estate agents. He got a license when he was in high school, sold his first house in high school, bought his first house when he was 18. So he's been stuck in the business and does just a killer job on training our agents. But one thing that we really drove home today is just we're big on visual and having your numbers in front of you. And we're big on, knowing your numbers and looking at it all the time and reviewing your numbers, more than once a day. We recommend 3 times a day, but being very intentional on owning your calendar and making sure that the working on your business part lives in your success strategy of your calendar every single day, and knowing what that backwards metric is of where you want to be, what that means, what you have to do each day to get there, regardless of what you feel like. Regardless if you want to or not. This is your metric that you're looking at and what that means for you in the end. And if you can't write down on paper why you're doing this, you're going to have so much grayness, and you need to have that clarity. And now is the time to get it. Anytime you can do it. And separation season is here, you guys.
Yeah.
A lot of agents are just going to be laying off the gas and just heading, like, separation season is right now. We get it twice a year. This is one of them. So keeping your foot on the pedal and being intentional of continuing to keep doing to fill that pipeline and serve to make sure that your Q1 of 26 is golden.
Yeah, when everyone else is resting, that's the time to work harder, right? And I think that's what I hear so many agents talk about is like, hey, when times are slow, we are not slow. Like, we are out there, we are working, and that's a good agent when they are saying like, no, it's not time to slow down. Like, we are pedal to the metal, foot on the gas, full throttle ahead, and getting ready to have a super successful year, especially by putting our clients first, knowing our numbers, putting ourselves out there, building those relationships with the media. All great advice. Amy, I want to thank you so much for coming on, for joining me, for sharing more, for all you do for our industry. Thanks for being so willing to do this, and for your willingness to help bring realtors along with you. I think it's really great. So I appreciate your time today, and thanks so much again.
Yes, it's an honor, my dear. Thanks for having me.
And to all of our listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back with you next week. Talk to you then.
Thank you for listening to The Real View. That wraps up today's episode. You can keep up with the latest on the podcast at ohiorealtors.org/therealview and on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Have questions, comments, or suggestions? We want to hear from you. Email us at podcast@ohiorealtors.org. We'll see you next time.